Today I'm going to be revealing to you the top 3 mistakes, the biggest mistakes that I see in people's travel videos on YouTube or inside the Travel Video Academy, which is my own program. I want to show you guys the biggest mistakes, and then I want to go into how you can actually avoid them to make better videos the whole time. I did a video literally about a year ago now that was kind of similar to this. This is going to be a kind of an updated version with a year's more experience and to anyone new on the channel. So without further ado, let's crack into it. Mistake number 1 is not reacting to the music. Some of you may have heard this a few times. Some of you, this is going to be a new concept. It seems simple, but so many people don't do it. You have a track on your video that you're using, and the track maybe starts slow, then it gets faster. And your visual content does not react to that. That is a big mistake. If your song starts out slow and then suddenly a drop comes and your visuals just stay the same pace, they stay the same content, it's the same scene, then people's minds are not going to react to your video. There's just something's going to seem off. Like the music's changing, but nothing else is changing. Why is this? Go and watch any music video and you'll almost always see that whenever the song changes, either a verse or a chorus, or it picks up pace, something in the video will change to match that. Maybe it's just a change in the scene, maybe it's a change in pacing, it's a change in something. So when you're making your travel videos, you really need to keep this in mind. Do not make the mistake of keeping everything in your video the same when the music is changing. I'm going to give you an example right now of a track that changes dramatically, but most things in the video are staying the same. Look how off this looks. Horrible, right? Not very nice. Now I'm going to play you that same exact track and sequence, but I've changed a few things in the edit to match the track. So I hope you can see how important that is to change your visuals to match with the music. To some of the more pro guys out there, this is going to sound like the most obvious advice, but to a lot of you people who are just getting into this, I can't stress this enough. Hello, mate. Who's your good boy? I found a wild aquatic dog.
Hello, amphibious hound.
And you look about 1,000 years old, mate. Okay, mistake number 2 is gimmicks. What do I mean by gimmicks? It's kind of hard, to be honest, it's kind of hard to define a gimmick. What is a gimmick and what is not a gimmick? To me, a gimmick is a technique used in a video, and often kind of like an advanced technique used in a video when the video itself is kind of amateur and needs a bit of work. And this technique is kind of just put into the video as an attempt to look cool rather than actually doing anything for the purpose of the video. You'll see this a ton of times in transitions. There's a kind of craze about transitions at the moment. I even made a video about how to use zoom transitions in your travel videos. Go check that out. It'll be in the description. People are using transitions like this as a gimmick without any kind of fundamental understanding of what makes a good video a good video. People will kind of skip straight to the cherry on the cake without actually making the cake by putting some kind of transitions in the video that don't match the video, or maybe they even do match the video, but because the video lacks substance and it seems it has an amateur feel to it, then the transitions just seem kind of gimmicky, like a cherry without a cake. Other kind of gimmicky things in travel videos that you'll see are really crazily color graded videos, an attempt to make them look super cinematic, usually way oversaturated, way contrasted in an attempt to kind of boost the colors too much. I think subtlety is the key when it comes to color correction especially. And if you guys are using color correction as a gimmick, it's always a no-go. If your video lacks the fundamentals, lacks the foundations, then the color grade's kind of going to be pointless as well. And if you spend hours and hours and hours color grading a video that isn't captivating in its rhythm, its pacing, its storytelling, micro-narratives, all the things that I'm teaching, if you kind of ignore those things and go straight to the color grading or go straight to the transitions, then you're always going to end up with a gimmicky looking video. And that is one of the biggest mistakes I want you guys to avoid. Right, this brings us on to mistake number 3, which is shots without a purpose. So what is a shot without a purpose? We need to zoom out a little bit for this one, as you guys probably know I like doing by now. Your video needs to have some sort of purpose, whether it's to make people feel a certain way or to communicate a certain message. If your video doesn't really have a purpose, then it's going to be hard to pick which shots are right for your video because there's simply no purpose in the video at all. So you've got to go out there and step back a bit and think of what is the purpose of my video. This then makes it super easy to take out shots in the edit that don't align with the purpose of the video. This happens to me a lot of the time. I will have a ton of shots in the edit and I'm editing down, making things faster, tightening things up, and usually I'll find a shot or two that maybe they'll be a beautiful shot. Maybe they'll be one of my best cinematic moments that I've captured, but then they don't really go with the flow of the video. Maybe they don't match the rhythm, or more importantly, they don't match the purpose of the video. It's kind of like, this shot's cool, but at the same time, it's pointless. I'm always gonna take out that shot, even though it looks really cool. Maybe I'll put it in another video in a montage, or maybe I'll include it in another section of the video when that shot is more appropriate. So it always helps to have a purpose in your videos, and this is what's gonna make them stand out above a lot of other people's, especially in travel videos, because it's so easy for us to go out and make a travel video that is not really purpose driven, because we are just looking around us at things. We just want to capture our own experiences, capture our memories. That's perfectly understandable. But if you guys want to step up and make something slightly better, then you always want to have a purpose in your videos, and that's going to enable you to dictate which shots you want to use when, and then you can put the shots in with a purpose, you can take them out with a purpose, and it's going to make a much more watchable, coherent video for your audience to enjoy. So if you want to learn more about travel filmmaking, learning how to make travel videos right now, then I would highly encourage you to go and download my gear list, which is a nice PDF document with all of the travel filmmaking gear